Hi everybody, Ben here from Art Less Ordinary. I'm going to do a flip cup, but I am going a little bit out of my comfort zone, and I'm doing all pastels. So cerulean blue, turquoise, pink and light purple. They're all opaques and they're all a pastel-y colour, and they are 55 grams paint and 55 grams pouring medium, which is my Elmer's glue 70%, my water 30% mixture. So, and I added 2 drops in each of helmars silicone oil. So this is just, I wanted something a bit brighter than my normal, and I didn't want to add black and I didn't want to add white. And I thought, you know what, let's just go with some pastels and see if it looks all right. It's not usually, I like these colours, but I don't normally use just these colours. So it's going to be just slightly different to what I would normally do. I have 3 cups, so it's going to be a triple cup pour, flip cup. And I have, well, I will have in a second when I can get it, my trusty corner catcher. So I probably will use my corner catcher this time. I don't always use it for flip cups, but tonight I will. Well, I think I will. So let's get with the pouring. Just give it a tiny little stir, and I stirred it heaps. Okay, when I add my silicone, I stir it in quite well. That's right. Just a quick little stir. Now I want these to layer on each other and not fall in heavy like a dirty pour. So I pour it in relatively gently, and then I just start swirling so it sits on top of the other paint and just covers the other colour. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I just try to layer them as best as possible. So all of these should be a very similar consistency. The turquoise, for some reason, and it's not just this brand, it's all brands, I always find turquoise very thin. So I probably could have made that a little bit less pouring medium, but I was trying to keep everything as even as possible. Yeah, I find that, so these are all mont paints, but I find, if anything, my Geraldo di Polo turquoise is even thinner again. It's super, super thin, and it's very frustrating when I want to add pouring medium, or even when I want to add Floetrol, because I can't get the desired amount of Floetrol in it to give me excellent lacing, because it's too thin. I can't add much to it. So as much as I love turquoise, it can be a little bit of a pain colour, only because of the brands make it too thin. But it may not be so thin with other brands, but those 2 brands I have definitely noticed it's thin. Alrighty. The last cup is always the harder one to layer properly, because you're trying to scrape the paint out at the same time, make it a nice layer. But just do your best. As you'll know with me, nothing has to be absolutely perfect. I often like things to be perfect, but you don't, it's not the way life or paint always wants to go. So you just make do with how it's working. So I really like these colours. I just wasn't sure how they were all going to go together in a flip cup. And this is just going to teach me. I'm hoping it looks awesome, but at the same time, it's actually a learning process. So sometimes you got to do pause to teach yourself something, to see how colours behave together, to see, just learn from it. If you learn from every pour that you do, whether it's a good pour or a bad pour, then at least ultimately it's a good pour because you learnt something. That's the best way to think about it. And if you have noticed by watching my YouTube channel, I experiment a lot. Yes, I do some things more frequently than others, like I love my ghost swipes. But even with them, I try and experiment with shapes and colours and sizes, and you just gotta mix it all up a little bit and see how things go. That's the fun part. I got another midgie. I think they like the smell of the paint because I seem to always get them follow me around once I start doing a pour. So I don't know whether there's something in the paint that attracts them, but it's very frustrating. Can still see them somewhere. So like normal, I always swap those two cups around because that one always has less. So I usually put the one with less in the middle. Alrighty, so we're going to flip these. And I'm going to move the cups out of my way a little bit. I do love these colours. These colours are really cool. So there is no black in this pour because black has been a little bit of a pain lately and has been taking over my flip cups. I like to have black in there for contrast, but it has been a little bit mean and is taking over a little bit too much. So I decided I'm going to leave it out for a little bit. Alrighty. Alright, hopefully these cups have sank down the paint enough. It's not always easy because there's often some left in there, but let's go. This looks like a children's ice cream colour. So I'm just pouring a little bit on the corners, which will disappear anyway when I do the pour. Okay. So the pink has wanted to be the dominant colour on top. And now I'm just going to wiggle the paint down. A couple of cells have turned up, which I was hoping they wouldn't yet. Right, I'm going to have to go, otherwise I'm going to start losing... Oh, I forgot I was going to use a corner catcher, wasn't I? Okay. Bring it up. Then I'm going to come back down towards this way. Alright, I didn't use the corner catcher that time. And I don't think I am again. I think I'm just going to tip that off. Okay, bring it back down. And then I'm going to go up this way. So my lines will end up being across the canvas. So normally I have my lines straight up and down, but I could see that the bottom one was going to sit funny over here. So it worked out in my best interest to try to keep them on that horizontal axis. Okay, I'm going to get the gloves off. So at the moment, all I can think of when I see these colours is a unicorn pony. Probably because that's the colour I would see whenever my niece had a unicorn or a pony picture. Actually, even when I see unicorns or pony pictures on the internet, they always have these colours. So let's see what happens when we heat up some of this silicone and see what cells and shapes appear. I would have to say, as much as I like the colours, I don't think this is going to be something that will end up being on my walls, just because I think the colours are a little bit too pastel-y for myself. But in saying that, I can see children liking these colours, so see what happens when some cells pop up. Whoops, there we go, we got a couple there. So as you can see, I'm doing it slowly. I'm trying not to get too many cells appear all at one time. I need to get some cells up in some of these areas. I'm just trying to be careful I don't get a cell explosion by getting that little bit closer. Which can be so easy to happen. Yeah. A couple of times I got a bit close and I think I got a couple of cell explosions. Actually doesn't look like many cells want to appear in this area. Because I'm getting a little bit close now and not many are popping up. But also I didn't put a lot of silicone in. I put 2 drops in each colour because I didn't want it to be too overpowering. I'm going to stop it. Watch it. Now that blowtorch is super, super hot. Okay. Definitely pastel. There's no hiding that part, is there? So I think I have enough cells. If I wanted more, I would have wanted a few more in here, but they weren't going to appear. And the more I heated it up, the more likely I am to start melting the shape of the cells that actually had appeared. Because when you heat them up more and more and more, they go out of shape. So I decided not to keep doing that. But I've got some cool cells happening. Quite random colours. Some are blues, some are mixtures. Got some just plain purple here with maybe a little pink outline. So yeah, I think this is all I'm going to be able to do. I don't really want to tilt it because I think they will go out of shape. And see the two noticeable cells that came up before I tilted is this one here, that one there, and there's another one down here, but they're not too bad. It's not they're not overly distracting. But yeah, I think this is probably pretty nice for a... Oh, that little midgie's gonna go on my paint, I know it. This is a pretty cool painting for a young kid. Probably more girl colours, I would say. But in saying that, it's different. And I couldn't think tonight. I wanted to do a flip cup. I didn't know what colours, and I didn't want to go purples again. So I thought, let's try pastels. So I don't know if everyone's going to love this. People might go, that's awesome. Others might go, no, that's horrible. That's part and part of people liking different type of art. So that's, if I take out that extra, so this is with the yellow light on it as well. If I take the yellow light off and just leave it as the white lights, I think the colours are a bit better. They seem to be a bit more attractive in just the white light, removing that yellow. But we're going to come down for a close-up and have a look. And there we go. So yeah, different. Let's zoom down at some of these cells and see the cool colours. It's definitely quite a pretty painting, but me being a bloke, I think it's a bit too pretty for me. But unusual different cells, kind of clumping together. I don't know if this colour... Let me try putting on the light I had on earlier. There we go. It's probably closer to what I see with my own eyes. Focus. Yeah, so definitely pastel. Alrighty. So there we go. Nice little pastel pour, flip cup, with lines that kind of go on an angle. I think it's pretty. Not really for my room, I can tell you that now. Even though I like purples, it's probably really not going to suit my room. But I hope you like it. And I will probably see how this looks when it dries. It may darken up slightly, but being opaques, they usually don't change too much. So like normal, comment, like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you tomorrow for another pour. Alright, bye.